Hi, welcome to Mama Cooks Love. Today we're gonna make a really delicious and close to my heart dish. It's a Peruvian dish that it's made with green sauce or green spaghetti or green pasta. It's called Tallarines Verdes. Usually Tallarines Verdes is served with breaded steak, but today we're gonna make it with a breaded tofu steak. I lived in Venezuela for 6.5 years. Besides falling in love with Venezuelan people, that opened my heart to fall in love with all Latin America and South America. One of my super close friends is from Peru. Tallarines Verdes is a really delicious Peruvian dish, and whenever he feels that he needs comfort, that's why he asks to eat. It was his love for it that made me really fall in love with it. I have been eating it for many, many years, and this is my favorite version of it. So stick with me on Mama Cooks Love. I will be capturing the same kind of flavors you will find in a traditional beef steak. It is really delicious, but with all the kindness of tofu. To make the tallarines verdes or green pasta with the beautiful tofu breaded steak, we're gonna start with the ingredients for the tallarines verdes or for the green pasta. For that, we're gonna need a pound of any type of pasta you like. My family prefers spaghetti. 3 ounces of queso fresco, 1.5 ounces of queso parmesan or Parmesan cheese, a red onion, 3 big cloves of garlic. I have 2 cups of washed and picked basil from my garden and 8 ounces of baby spinach. You're also gonna need 1/2 cup of dry roasted peanuts. I happen to have salted, so I'm just gonna pay attention when I season my pasta. And 1.5 cups of evaporated milk. If you don't have access to queso fresco, it is very similar to creamy, really mellow feta cheese. If you're gonna use feta cheese, make sure you use cow's milk feta cheese because you want that really creamy, smooth taste without the overpowering taste of, say, sheep or goat's milk. Also, there are a lot of recipes that actually do use cow milk feta. To make the tofu steak empanizado, we're gonna need a pound of tofu, extra firm tofu. I have 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of panko breadcrumbs. Right here in the seasoning, I have a teaspoon of nutritional yeast, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground garlic or granulated garlic, and 2 eggs. Also, olive oil to saute our ingredients, salt and pepper to taste. And to fry the tofu, we're gonna need some neutral oil. So I have 1 cup of neutral oil right here. Because we're making the tallarines verdes with the tofu steak, we're gonna start with the tofu steak so we can give it some nice flavor. I have the pound of firm tofu. I'm gonna slice it into 3 equal parts. So, tofu is sliced. I already pat it dry with paper towel. Now we're just gonna season it and let it hang out. And we're gonna massage the seasoning. We need a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And we're gonna massage the seasoning on each side before we move on to the other side. So when we go ahead and bread it, it has that really delicious flavor. A little bit more salt and a little bit more pepper. All right, while the tofu hangs out and gets some yummy flavor, let's work on making the tallarines verdes. Start with our red onion. After all these years of cutting up onion and garlic and working in kitchens, I still cry. Oh, goodness. And now to the garlic. Smash it to get rid of the skin, and it would make it a little bit flat. And as I said before, this is really the easiest way to chop a garlic. So let's cook the pasta, saute the ingredients. In the 6.5 minutes that takes to cook the pasta, the sauce should be ready. Our water is boiling for the pasta. I'm just gonna lower it. I wanna start sauteing the onions and the garlic before I start cooking the pasta, because the pasta will cook in 6 minutes. And I do need about 6 minutes just to saute the onions. All right, so a generous amount of olive oil. So I like to start with the onion, and then the garlic comes in after so it doesn't burn. I always like to hit my onions with salt as soon as they go into the pot. It helps release their water so they don't burn, because they're very delicious and sweet. Onions have natural sugars in them. Pepper. I love using freshly ground pepper. It makes a very big difference. It's always nutty and delicious. And what you're looking for is translucent onions. It's been about 4 minutes. Salty like the ocean. And I have my pound of pasta ready to go. Now you see how they're starting to soften and you lose that purplish red color that they have. All right. Pasta water is ready. Into the pot. Set my timer for 6 minutes. I like my pasta really al dente. Plus, the pasta always continues to cook after you take it out of the cooking water. Please do not rinse your pasta. Do not rinse it under cold water. You'll get rid of all those delicious, yummy cooking starches and the seasoning, and the sauce will have nothing to cling to. You want that. I just love seeing those specks of black pepper. You know they're gonna taste so delicious and nutty. Our onions are ready for the garlic. Now we're gonna take the aroma another level. So delicious. Mix. Help it loosen up. Alrighty, the garlic is cooking beautifully, and I just raised the heat to high. And as soon as the oil comes back to higher temperature, I'm gonna fry up the spinach and the basil. All right, the pasta is gonna be done cooking in 2 minutes. You don't wanna overcook it. As soon as it welts, we're gonna turn it off. That's it, the spinach is done. I just turned it off, and now into the blender. And I have, in my blender here, I have 1/2 cup of peanuts with my 1 ounce of Parmesan cheese and 3 ounces of queso fresco. I have a very important ingredient, 1.5 cups of evaporated milk. And now the spinach with the onions and the basil and the garlic. And I'm gonna drain the pasta right into this pot to get all the yummy flavor, since I'm gonna cook it here. All right, pasta's done. Gotta drain it. And we're gonna blend our sauce and then check it for seasoning. Look how beautiful and bright the sauce is. I'm gonna check it for seasoning. It's so delicious. It's perfect. Into the pot. Mix my pasta with it. It is so delicious and bright and creamy and aromatic. Of course, if it needs more sauce, we can add more sauce. I think this is perfect, just the way it is. So we have about a cup left of sauce. You can save that sauce, have it later. You can add extra sauce. It's really delicious with French fries. All right. Tallarines are ready. Let's serve them. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, it is so delicious and creamy. Oh, I wish you could try it. My Peruvian friends would be proud of me. I have some shaved Parmesan here, just a little beauty. And then I saved those pretty little basil leaves from the basil bunch that I got from my garden. And it just makes it look so adorable. All right, let me try it for you. Oh, look at that. So yummy. Aromatic and green. You know what's the hardest thing? To stop after one bite. And I still have to show you how they make the bistec de tofu empanizado. Tofu has been marinating for about half an hour. Just gonna set up the breading station. So I have my eggs, a little bit of salt, some freshly ground pepper, flour, some pepper, and salt. Same here, panko breadcrumbs. Do a little bit of pepper and salt. My oil is medium high. So this is what we're gonna do. We'll start in the flour, then the eggs, and then breadcrumbs. Don't forget the sides. Oh, it's gonna be so good. And then into the hot oil. All right, let's do that again. We have flour, eggs, then breadcrumb. And into the hot oil. And the last piece. Flour, eggs, and then breadcrumb. Into the hot oil. I have it on medium-high heat. I'm gonna clean up while this cooks, and I will taste it for you as soon as it's done. Delicioso. Tofu steaks are done, so we're gonna take them out of the hot oil and let them drain for a little bit while we serve the pasta to show you how we serve this yummy dish together. Listen to this. Delicioso, I promise. Alrighty, now this is how they usually serve the Tallarines Verdes. A nice, generous serving of green pasta or green tallarines and your tofu bistec, and then a little lemon on the side. Et voila! Tallarines Verdes con bistec de tofu empanizado. Green spaghetti or green pasta with breaded tofu steak, Peruvian style. I'm gonna have to try one for you. I'm gonna taste it for you. Lemon, always on anything breaded and fried. It cuts through the fat and it makes it yummy and delicious. Oh my goodness. Did you hear that crunch? Look at that. Oh, it's so good. I am very sure this is gonna be a staple of yours and you're gonna make it at least once a week. Deliciosísimo. Super delicious. Let me know how you love it. Hit like, subscribe, and remember, love, light, and blessing from Mama Cooks.